Alright, there's no way to be nice about this. You seriously need to go through the basics. Get familiar
You
with
can't
the three
act.
circles of attention. At least
Honestly,
read
you need to
an
work
actor
on your
prepares.
emotions.
Counter
Your acting was
blessing
so
some
bland,
misguided
it
casting
looks
director
like
was
you
high
didn't
enough
even
to hire
try.
you.
Maybe
We
before
need
the
contact
contact
seasons
seasons
like
invest
this
in
for
some
acting
acting
lessons
lessons
and
not
not
all
show
about
to
the
actually
childhood.
grasp
I hope you
how
read this.
expressive Katara
Should have
is.
taken acting
You're
lessons.
one of the main characters
Why
of
is
the
your
show.
acting too
Act
flat?
like it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to say this, but I don't know
Hey,
how
can you
you
put some
landed the
emotion into
job.
your acting, please?
I'm happy
It's not
for
Katara
you
at
to
all.
get this
Just
opportunity,
ruin the series.
but
I
please
cannot
go to
immerse
acting
myself
class
in
and
that
learn
show because your
Katara's
acting
rage
is
before
not
the show is
sincere.
great and all.
We don't
but
want
to be
a sorry
honest,
Katara
the
here.
main
Embodied
character
in the
Katara
show.
that has so
She has a
much
hot
character
temper,
progression.
and you were way
Even
too
actresses
calm.
from parodies play better and more realistic than you. Wow. Do these people call themselves Avatar fans? You know, the animated series Avatar: The Last Airbender that teaches us how to be kind to others. The show that changed our lives with characters that start off as
sexist, immature, nut-brained,
who eventually turn into selfless protectors, and characters who are born a prodigy and have everything in the world except the genuine parental love that they needed the most. And let's not forget those whose uncontrollable rage causes them to burn down their fleet and then be trapped in the fog of lost souls forever. I see a type of rage in those people who wrote those comments. And honestly, I was expecting a better reaction from the fans of Avatar. The show might not be as good as you have expected it to be, and I'm not saying don't criticize the work. What I'm saying is, criticize the right thing. The question is simple. Is it really Kiawentio's acting that made me dislike Katara in the series? I found out that if that was the case, then I guess the movie Beans had a different actor portraying an angry Native American girl with a complex spectrum of emotions. Yes, I watched the whole movie, and I do recommend it. Watch this.
you motherfucking asshole! This brother! I hope you fucking die! Why did you help us? You're supposed to protect people! Hey, let her go! Let her go! Let her go, Gina. You okay? No! Get out of here!
This is just one of the scenes where her anger comes out. I find it hard to call her acting emotionless after that and many other scenes. Listen, I'm not Kiawentio Tarbell's lawyer or PR person or whatever. I just don't want another young rising star to be bullied out of the game just like Noah Ringer was. Remember that boy? Was it his fault that Aang was a shitty character? I care about this because I'm a huge Avatar fan and I want to see more stuff and good stuff. I'm sure most of the fans do too. But to have that, we have to demand the right things. I understand that some fans are angry as if a bear was woken in the middle of its hibernation. My point is that the target aspect to be angry at is not the acting, it's the writing and the directing. I understand why Michael and Brian announced that they left this project because of the creative differences they had. This makes me wonder, there are no interviews or explanations of Albert Kim or any of the other writers where they give a proper evaluation about how the show turned out to be. We are mainly seeing the actors who interact with the fans, and therefore, they are the ones taking the blow. When the creators set out on this journey, they most probably knew that they were going to get some backlash because necromancy in the film industry is always risky. Just to make it clear, this video is about my opinion, and if you don't like it, you can click on the main page of YouTube and watch a different video within millions. I'm just another fan among many, and this is all for good fun. Let me start with the first scene where she tries to waterbend. Instead of writing whatever they wrote, they could have focused on her frustration with not being able to figure out waterbending. She has a complex backstory of anger and sorrow about parental loss, abandonment, obviously war trauma, and being the only waterbender in her tribe. Unfortunately, Katara had to tell us that, not show us. Of course, telling a background story isn't always a bad thing, but I am expecting an aha moment when a character does explain the reason for their certain type of behavior. But there was no certain behavior that made me go aha. Being trapped in the Southern Water Tribe doing meaningless chores all day must have grinded her nerves enough to be an angry and explosive teenager who is most probably going through puberty, by the way. Writing Katara with this perspective would give some depth to her character, which would explain her hope speeches that made her mildly annoying and real at the same time. But maybe they didn't want Katara to make any noises in those rooms because she was practicing secretly, right? Well then why won't you at least make her look left and right just to give us, the audience, the message that she's doing something secretly? She just looks like she's walking back home from treating herself to shopping on a not so busy afternoon. It looks empty seeing Katara walk inside the gorgeous ruins of what used to be a Fire Nation ship. At least give her the fear of being found out and make her show us. Just like in this scene when Beans has stolen some candy from grocery store to impress her peers and is feeling a little ashamed about it. It is a waste of a good actor, I say. Katara just looks outside of and disconnected from the plot, which we can continue to see when she goes to Sokka and Sokka gets to question her about what mischief she was doing earlier. Really? Are we going to find out that Katara was doing mischief from Sokka's lines? Isn't that a little patronizing? Was there no other way Katara could have shown it to us herself? Anyhow? You know, with her thieving, sneaking, troublemaking, and headstrong personality? In the movie Beans, we already see that Beans is trying to be tougher as she practices punches. She also swears in front of the mirror and bullies another teenager at the arcade. Honestly, they said they took out the sexism from Sokka, but apparently it didn't vanish into thin air. It's like they tried to clog a flowing hole and it sprung out from somewhere else, which is the plot of the show. Instead of showing a balanced dynamic of the siblings, they tried to patch up the sexism in Sokka's lines and it burst into their lame dynamic. And by lame dynamic, I mean that it's not Sokka's irritating daddy made me leader type, but it's Katara's passive and silent correspondence to him that makes the dynamic lame. They don't squabble with each other like regular siblings would. Here is a scene of Beans reacting to her demanding sister at the dinner table, just to show you that it's not about the actor.
You missed some, right there. Just take it.
Or, to make it a more specific complaint, they don't squabble like the wolves in a pack would, which is what their tribe is called after, the Wolf Cove, right? Dominance plays like this are very uncommon among wolf packs. When they were bragging about removing sexism from Sokka, I would have expected at least something like that, having a pack mentality and stuff. If you're gonna change the story and make it different from the original, at least make it believable with every element that you add to the show. Calling something a wolf cove just because it sounds cool feels empty and meaningless. Overall, I didn't get a genuine dynamic from the Katara-Sokka interactions. Moving on. The boy in the iceberg scene. What happened there? Did Katara bend Aang out of the ice? Because it was really unclear to me. We saw that her bending was weak in the first scene of Katara, but it was clear that she could somehow bend the water that was right in front of her. We didn't see a misdirection of her bending to her backside or anything like that. This could have been shown to us by putting another random pond of ice water behind her, and as she would start bending, the water behind her would move, and she wouldn't be able to see it, only we would. In fact, she could have realized it as she broke Aang's iceberg and would think, oh okay, I have to work on my bending direction, with a funny remark. In the scene where Sokka unwillingly agrees to help Aang, he says,
We can't just leave him out here.
I don't like this. Why listen to me? I'm just responsible for the safety of the village.
Katara could have said, oh quit complaining and help me already. But instead, she passively and aggressively stares at him, saying nothing as comeback. Okay. She could have at least made a funny and mocking face at Sokka, undermining his forced and ineffective authority with a playful and annoying gesture. There could have been so many better reactions for her, because making Katara funny wouldn't overshadow Sokka's sarcasm, and even if it did, it would be funny. Remember when Katara says to Sokka's ears, "Look at those things, do herds of animals use them for shade?" And Sokka is like, "Seriously, back off." That kind of funny. Of course, I'm not saying they should have used the same lines, but if they understood the essence of Katara, they could have written better lines according to that. When Sokka tries to find Aang to give him to Zuko like the coward that he is, instead of making Katara chase Sokka around and try to make him understand, it would have a way stronger impact if she just went in front of Sokka and said, "I am not giving Aang to that filthy firebender's hands. Aang is with us, and I will protect the last hope of the world with my life." And then add a little sentiment saying, "Just like how Mom protected the last waterbender of this tribe." And when they go inside the hut, she could have stood a little bit in front of Aang instead of next to him. Because clearly, this leadership thing has gone to Sokka's head and he doesn't act right. In the scene when she says, "You know, the thing about losing everything is that that's when you learn how strong you really are." Oh my god. It's when you learn how to fight. Wow, what a sentence. I can't tell you how much I cringed. What does she know about strength and fighting? I thought she didn't like fighting, and now she's giving a speech about fighting and strength?
I'm a warrior. I should be able to do more for our people.
Oh yeah, right. She did.
Not everything is about preparing to fight.
Wait, what now?
You need to go hide.
Sokka, I want to...
Katara?
Alright, I'm confused.
Waterbending is what built our culture. Our way of life. Keeping it alive is our duty.
Keeping ourselves alive is our duty.
I know that.
Right. So she can't make up her mind. Got it. I can somehow understand her speech about fighting and strength to Aang, because Katara can be viewed as the embodiment of Aang's previous friends like Gyatso. But then why not make Katara strong from the start? At least courageous enough to attempt fighting back. That just leaves her character not quite believable and just a filler, a secondary character that helps the main character, which is still bad writing because there are brilliant side characters that have a fantastic arc without being spineless and can exist as their own self. Also, Katara is one of the main characters in the series, and she deserves the same attention at least as much as Sokka did. Katara from the Netflix series has a lot to learn from Beans. Like how she stands next to her mom when her mom confronts the police. She shows courage and doesn't run away. But Katara from Netflix is being told what to do in her own tribe, being taught how to bend by Aang, and not finding a way on her own, runs away from conflict, and has to take permission to do anything. Which is not even close to Katara's character. She's more like Toph mom, Poppy Beifong at this point. The social media accounts of actors are available to be the ground of criticism because the writers, directors, and all the creators in the background might not always be easy to reach on social media. So an alternative reaction to our first world problem could be to mention the names of the writers on the actor's account rather than attacking the actors personally. It's just my humble opinion. To use the actor as a messenger, so don't kill the messenger. My last idea about this is that maybe Netflix Katara was a sort of a blessing for us to realize again how awesome the original Katara actually is. People usually find her as this annoying and motherly type of a character, but she is way more than what she seems. She is a natural leader who kept the team together through thick and thin. In their hardest times of hopelessness, Katara was the one sticking everyone together like glue. She was the one finding her own light when everything seems so dark. Well, this is all for this video. I would like to thank Celine and Ikyas for giving me support during the making of this video. If you'd like me to do more reading on Avatar stuff, write it in the comments section and let me know. Also, please like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it.